Maddy bolts out of the tall green classroom door and runs down the hall as though she's being chased. She stumbles on the big lost and found bin and begins digging into it like a dog looking for a bone. Minutes later, the bin had been thrown upside down with everything scattered across the hallway. Maddy sits drained and out of breath when suddenly sparks light up her eyes and she dashes to her locker around the corner. She aggressively picks up her backpack and all of her belongings pour onto the floor. She quickly drops to her knees and swiftly moves her belongings around while studying them attentively. Maddy slowly realizes that she is searching for something that is not there, but she desperately needs it. As she sat on the cold hallway floor in deep thought, she hears the faint burst of laughter down the hallway and returns to reality. She finds the courage to get up and head back to class. Feeling imprisoned, she is forced to write her test with an ordinary orange school-colored pencil. To the average student, he or she would not think twice about their pencil. Where could she have misplaced her favorite pencil? How careless could she have been? The rest of the morning and afternoon raced by, and before Maddy knew it, she was in the car heading home. She looked out the window at the trees that lined the quiet streets and reflected on the panicked state of mind she was in that morning. She ran into school very excited to write her math test this morning. Her class got led into their spacious classroom and started getting their writing supplies out. Maddy peered into her desk and saw that her purple sparkly pencil with fuzzy feathers surrounding the pink eraser was not in her desk. When she glanced back up, a math test was waiting patiently for her on her desk. Maddy's petite teacher stood at the front of the room and began explaining the test. As Maddy was distracted in her desk, she tuned out her teacher and repeatedly said to herself, "It could not have grown legs," and walked out of my desk. Once the teacher completed her explanation, she asked for any questions. Maddy's hand shot up like a cannon, asking to go to the washroom. The teacher gave her a dirty look as she ran past her, down the hall, looking for her most prized possession. Maddy's car came to a sudden halt in the driveway, which snapped her back to the present. Dragging one foot at a time in front of her, as she slowly walked up to her blue front door, she thought about receiving her test back and all the worst possible outcomes of the test, which drained her energy and saddened her even more. Hours felt like days, days felt like months, and before she knew it, she received notice of her test results. Maddy rushed into class with a skip in her step, eager to see her mark. She quickly flipped over the page and immediately gave a sigh of relief when she saw 100% at the top of the page. She was overwhelmed with excitement and jumped with joy as she hugged her test against her chest. Days passed when one day Maddy spotted her lucky pencil from the corner of her eye at one end of the chalkboard ledge. She instantly snatched it up and held it in her hands like she found precious treasure. As she studied its unique beauty and thought about the importance of it in her life, she seemed to have no emotional connection to it. Maddy realized that she can be successful without her most prized possession. She overcame the struggle within herself and showed great maturity in her confidence and her independence during this past month. The next day, Maddy decided to pass it forward in hopes that her lucky pencil will bring goodness to someone else who really needs it.